Welcome back for your daily scoop of pop culture. Today we're going to be covering episode 6 of The Secret Lives of Mormon Wives. So if you haven't seen the past 5 videos I made, I highly recommend because there is a lot of drama between these mamas. This episode is truly a doozy, and this is where we now get to truly see how toxic and horrible some of these husbands are to their wives. I just want to give a warning of DA just because it can be triggering for some people, and some of these things actually made me comfy to hear and to talk about. It's really upsetting to see how Jen is treated by the man that is supposed to love and protect her, and they are pretty much the focus of today's episode. Now that Layla's divorce party is over, the moms decide to plan a Vegas trip for the girls. And we know these trips have not gone well in the past, but they decide to plan it anyway because they are trying to move forward without Whitney as part of their core group. Some of their husbands are not happy to hear that their wives want to go alone to Vegas. And this truly bothers me because you are secure in your marriage with someone and you have been together and you have built this foundation. You should be able to trust them to go on a girls trip. I understand the connotations around Vegas and all of that, but if they are all married, you should trust your wife to be with her girls. Now, later on in the episode, I do have to admit that men do have some valid concerns, but it isn't their wives' fault, and I feel like that is so important. One woman will plant something on them, and it ends up being everyone else's fault, which I just think is very unfair. Like, if you need to be breathing down your wife's neck and almost helicopter parenting her, I don't think that you guys are the right fit for each other. Some of the husbands are very chill about it though, and they say they trust their wives and to go have fun. The moms all go to Jesse's salon to get all cute and pretty before the trip, and at this point, none of them have heard from Whitney, and they wonder what she's up to. Like I said last episode, we know now that Whitney has blocked some of the women and even unfollowed everyone on social media, and this is super surprising for her ex-best friend Macy, the one who stood up for her and defended her through and through, and she felt really blindsided, she told the cameras. Later, Jesse gets the girls together, and they have this cute sisterhood-themed party where they are all embracing their femininity, which we always love and women deserve. And it turns out that the event is in honor of Jessie's upcoming labiaplasty, a procedure that she's wanted since her body changed after she has had kids. And if you don't know what that is, a labiaplasty is a procedure done to reduce the size of your labia minora, which is the skin around your parts. I don't want to get in trouble with YouTube. They all get together and drink the cutest mocktails and then paint their own lady parts on a canvas. So that's fun, I guess. I would love to be invited. Later, Taylor goes over to her mom's house to open up about her struggles with her relationship with Dakota. It's super overwhelming to her, and she is due very soon, and the two of them have just continued to fight, and it's so close to her due date, it makes her really nervous about their future together. Her mom, Leanne, asks Taylor to call Dakota so that they can all talk, but they don't think he's going to answer, which, once again, another red flag. But anyway, they text him that Taylor's going into labor so that he picks up the phone fast, and of course he does. And when he realizes they kind of tricked him into responding, he gets angry like a baby toddler that just got tricked. Leanne tells Dakota that they need to work their shit out for this baby, and Dakota says that all he wants is a family, but that Taylor seems to be standing in the way of that, which is such a cruel thing to say, especially in front of her mother and cameras. Like, he's saying this in front of people. Imagine what he says to her behind the scenes. He is really throwing out red flags left and right, and he almost loses his temper at the end of the call, and it's ridiculous. He says, and I quote, "Just tell your daughter she needs to either commit to me or end this, because I can't keep doing this," end quote. As if he didn't cheat on her when they first got together. Even if he never cheated, the way he treats her and texts her is so horrible, and she truly deserves better. And Taylor feels like her mom is finally kind of seeing what she has to put up with every day. And once again, this is super telling and another sign that you shouldn't be with this person if you're having these thoughts. Jessie officially got her labiaplasty done, and after her surgery, Jen, Demi, and Layla go to check on her. And Demi is so cute. She brings her 2 tulips in honor of her 2 lips, and I thought that was just so silly and so cute, so I wanted to add that in. But Jessie keeps saying that she will be recovered enough to go to Vegas in honor of Layla's birthday trip and the girls trip and all of that, and she has even been looking at places for all of them to stay. And this is when we find out that apparently Dakota and Zach, the 2 literal villains, are also coming to Vegas. Dakota, I will give a pass to because he did come so he could be close to Taylor in case she goes into labor. But, Jessie doesn't really believe that. She thinks that he's just being controlling and that both of them want to keep an eye on their wives. I agree with that, and Zach, in my opinion, has no excuses, and it's even crazier to watch this knowing that this man, so high and mighty, gambled all his wives' money away. Which by the way, is forbidden and looked down upon in the Mormon church, in case you were wondering. While the moms pack at their houses, we get a look at how each of their husbands react to their wives going to Vegas. Macy and Jesse's husbands are happily secure, while little old Zach expresses how uncomfortable he'd feel if Jen was to go to a Magic Mike show, even as a joke, which is fair. I understand I would be uncomfortable too, but they hadn't planned that at this point. At this point, they were just going to go to Vegas and not do anything like that. Now, I'm going to quote something he actually said on the show in front of cameras. He said, quote, "Being divorced and taking care of 2 kids would be kind of tough, so I guess you make the decision," end quote. I cannot believe he's talking to his wife like this in front of producers and cameramen. Imagine what it's like behind closed doors. And we actually are going to get into that later because we have some screenshots of their personal text messages, and it is bad. Now, listen, personally, I would not be going to any spicy shows like that just because it simply is not my scene. And I don't think it's okay to be going to a spicy production like that unless your partner explicitly states otherwise. But more tensions arise when Zach mentions he's going to gamble in Vegas with money that Jen provided him. And this is when we officially find out that Mr. Goody Two-Shoes Zach is actually struggling, or was struggling, I guess, with gambling in the past. But Jen tells her husband that she trusts him and gives him $2,500. She truly needs to stand up because what the hell? To the cameras, she admits that she's been having a rough time with Zach and she feels he hasn't been very supportive, while she has been holding the primary role in working and taking care of their kids, which she does. And it breaks my heart and hurts even more to know that to this day, he has taken her and isolated her, but we're going to talk about that more later on. Taylor comes over to Jen's place so they can all drive to Vegas, but she shows up without Dakota because guess what? The couple got into another fight. After a while, Dakota finally makes his way over and tells Taylor that he is super lost and confused about where they stand. They should have broken up, but instead the two make up and they head to Vegas. Everybody finally makes it to Vegas, and Jesse is rightfully upset when Zach and Dakota come in their rental and try to hang around after it was made super clear that this was supposed to be a girls' weekend, and this is just another sign of how insecure and I guess how just disrespectful these two men are, and another reason why I don't date men. They finally get the guys to leave, and given all the drama, Macy's just wishing that Whitney could smooth things over with their group and be there with them. Now, if you're wondering what Whitney has been up to, well, Whitney and Connor go to a farm to try out the homesteader lifestyle, saying how nice it would be to live off the land and, have animals. But personally, seeing Whitney around that lifestyle made me laugh because she looked very out of place, and, if that's her thing, that's her thing. Back in Vegas, the girls are all getting ready, and Macy starts getting anxious, saying that she got a confession on social media about a woman who slept with Dakota before she realized he was with Taylor. Macy has no idea who this confession is from, but she's wondering if she should tell Taylor, knowing it could mess up their entire friendship. Now, I love Jessie, and I think she is fun, but this part did make me lose a bit of respect for her, as I think she did something that she knew almost none of the moms would enjoy, and that is a surprise Chippendale show, something that made Jen deeply uncomfortable, and I don't blame her. Being ambushed with a show is one thing, but Jessie got passes so that all the moms could go and meet the dancers backstage before the show and even oil them up. And some people are hyping them up, saying it's, they're free women. Layla is, she's single, and that's fair. But personally, I think cheating is gross and nasty, and touching someone else's chest with oil in a sensual way is definitely not okay when you're in a relationship, unless that's your thing. Obviously, I'm not trying to shame anybody. Not all the moms do this, of course, and actually a good amount of them look really uncomfortable, and they're looking away at the ground or just walking away. And once they find out about the outing, Dakota and Zach are pissed, and Zach even says he doesn't want to be married to Jen if she does things like this. Now remember, Jessie sprung this on all of them. She secretly planned this and then surprised them with it. So none of the other moms, allegedly, that we know of had anything to do with this outing, so they should not be blamed, especially since they took such quick steps to get out of that situation. Now, the amazing, sneaky people on the internet managed to slow down their TVs and pause right on some of the texts that Zach sent to his very own wife about something that, once again, was not her fault. And I'm going to read them to you, and I just want to give you a trigger warning again, and a warning that this man could also potentially be your doctor. So please be careful. I personally would not consent to him doing anything to me or being my doctor. But anyway, he said, quote, seriously, I don't want to hear one more thing about your heart. Start taking accountability for your actions and for the situations you put yourself in. You're a grown woman. It doesn't matter your intentions. You were there, and that's the image you portray of yourself, your family, etc. Everyone you represent on this platform. End quote. He quite literally said the situations you put yourself in when she did not put herself in this situation, and if anything, she took herself right out. Not only that, but he even used the R word in his text when saying that Jen should have never had to ask his permission to go to this type of event because she should have already known what his answer was going to be. This man is tearing her down and comparing her to, his friends who are in relationships, saying that the wives would never be seen at these because they respect their husbands and their values and they would never put themselves in this situation. And once again, she didn't put herself in this situation. And you can see every time something has to do with Zach, her sparkle is gone. Visibly gone. He keeps going and says, quote, the fact that we're even having this conversation is sad. Almost as sad as your non-existent eyebrows and the money you spent on gambling. Right, Zach? Literally breaks my heart because Jen tells the moms that he won't want to be married to her if she keeps doing stuff like this. And she tells them that he started questioning her and her character and asking why she would put herself in this situation again, which once again, she didn't put herself in this situation. And he also threatened to divorce her. And then he refused to speak to her and then demanded that she go to him at 2 a.m. So she ordered a ride and left. And rightfully, she is frustrated because the situation was put on her and now she's being punished for something she didn't even have a hand in. And the episode ends with her in tears. Now, because of these texts being released, a lot of people are rightfully criticizing Zach's reaction to the Chippendale show. The backlash became so bad that his side of the family intervened on social media to try to protect his character, which is ridiculous because we have clearly seen it and we don't need to listen to a man who speaks to his wife this way. Zach's brother AJ said on Reddit that he was, quote, beyond saddened by the fake manufactured representation, end quote, of his brother on the show, and he called Jen and her friends fake. So I guess insulting your partner's friends and loved ones runs in the family, I guess. But his mother, Crystal, commented under an Instagram post saying that Hulu's mission is apparently to destroy marriages and families, which is so funny to me because she should be actually focused on her own son destroying his own marriage. And then she goes on to say that viewers watching her son should, quote, judge less and love more, which, once again, she should be telling to her own son, who judged the living hell out of his own wife for her friend's trip choice. Zach hasn't publicly reacted or responded to his behavior on the show, but Jen has, though. And sadly, my girl does not seem to be getting free anytime soon. She has said that she hasn't seen the show yet because she thinks it will be exposure therapy. She says that she thinks she'll be able to watch the first couple episodes. As for the end, she says she might have to watch it by herself in a room with a tissue box, which is very sad, once again. Jen has come out and said that currently their relationship is great, and honestly, I don't think any relationship can get back to normal if someone is talking to their partner the way Zach is talking to Jen. But Jen says that they're doing nonstop therapy, so hopefully it helped him a tiny bit because he truly does need it, and she does as well, so that she can stand up for herself and her children. She did take it a little bit far by saying, at this point, I feel like we've healed from everything and we've been completely vulnerable and honest, end quote. And I think this has aged badly because a few days ago, she actually announced that she is leaving Mom Talk and moving to distance herself from the group due to her husband. You heard that right. Not her own choice. She is not leaving on her own free will. She is leaving because her husband wants to move. The husband that she provides money for, kids for, and child care for. Jesse has publicly come out and said that Jen is leaving Mom Talk because of Zach and how he doesn't want her associated with them. And everyone is truly really sad because this is a continuous pattern that is clearly not getting better. Truly, I hope the best for Jen, and I would love to see a season 2 where she completely turns her life around and pulls a Layla and has her own divorce party because her and her children deserve so much better. And also, if Zach is your doctor, run. But that's the scoop. Make sure to subscribe and drop your comments below so we can talk about it. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!